Hello, everyone. My name is Cecilia Geeson, and welcome to my podcast episode titled Modern Technologies in the Dairy Industry. So, as you may be able to infer from the title, today we will be discussing the modern technologies of wearable collars and robot milking systems that are revolutionizing the dairy industry. So, as you may know, the dairy industry has extensive roots that have been present in North American agriculture dating back to the 1600s when immigrants brought cattle over with them from Europe. And obviously, this dairy production was done at small scale, in which these cattle were providing families with dairy and meat products. Since then, there have been rapid developments in the dairy industry which have in turn created the dairy industry that we know today. This has included the development of specific breeds of cattle for milk production, along with the creation of pasteurization equipment and milking machines. The original milking machines obviously looked much different than those that are used today, and they are still undergoing new advancements, including the creation of milking robots. So these milking robots replace the need for human labor by fully automating the milking process from start to finish. And this is known as automation, dairy automation. These robots are also able to identify each cow as an individual and monitor the milk quality, and which in turn provides insights into health that may have been missed by a human. The robots are placed strategically, which creates free cow traffic, which allows the cows to choose when they want to eat, drink, lay down, and when they are milked. So this significantly reduces the stress that the cow may endure during the milking process, and it prioritizes cow comfort, which therefore increases milk production. During the milking, the cows are also fed specific rations that are formulated based on the production data that is collected by the milking robot. As the dairy industry has developed, there have been many instances in which the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology could be applied. Today's dairy farmers are faced with the same use and acceptance of milking robots that dairy farmers in the 1800s faced following the creation of the original milking machines that replaced hand milking. So not only have there been updates in the technologies, but also new innovations such as wearable to collar devices. These devices may look as simple as dog collars, but they actually provide insight into the cow's health, behavior, and productivity. The collars are equipped with a variety of sensors, such as RFID tags, accelerometers, microphones, or GPS receivers. And these allow the farmer to evaluate herd health efficiently before the problems may arise. The sensors collect information regarding how the cow moves, when it's eating, if it's drinking, and it can also record the body temperature. And now this data is then analyzed and processed, and they're able to identify patterns of a cow's normal behavior, which can then be used to identify abnormal behavior. And by picking up on the abnormal data, the systems are able to proactively identify periods in which a cow may be getting sick before a human eye would be able to. They're also able to key in on when the cows enter heat, which is identifying a period when insemination would be ideal, which improves the reproductive rates. This information is all sent to a digital interface that generates individual-specific information, which you can then use to know which cows need care and when they need it. There are numerous companies that are contributing to the market of technological innovations for the dairy industry, like the robot milkers and wearable collars, but some of the top players are Lely, NEDAP, and Halter USA Incorporated. Lely has been innovating the dairy industry since 1948 by producing automated systems and digital solutions to over 40,000 farmers. They are at the forefront of the dairy automation innovation and are dedicated to continuous development of the automated milking systems. NEDAP also provides innovations to the dairy industry and works to increase efficiency for farmers. They produce the wearable collars along with automated feeding and traffic solutions. We will now hear a testimony from a farmer that has both the Lely milking robot along with the NEDAP collars.
Having this technology on my farm's helping to set the future generation up for success. Hi, I'm Jeff McCauley, got a dairy farm in Mount Agoon. We've been using the NEDAP collar system for 2 years. We chose NEDAP collars because we had good reports and we knew they were going to work both on our rotary dairy and also with the Laley robots. Just going forward to the robots, we knew we'd need something that would work with that, and NEDAP collars work with the robots perfectly. And that's exceeded our expectations and performed perfectly. We're just not missing any heat cows. And the health benefit stuff's there, rumination information is good, but mainly went there for the heat detection, and it's exceeded expectations. The purchase and install of the NEDAP collars was very easy. Within 3 days, we had 1,000 collars on, and they were all up and running in the system. The cows definitely seem happier and calmer and quieter than they were before. They just relaxed and run the system. They come and go as they please. Having the information from the collars has definitely assisted the farming productivity by increased conception rates, submission rates, and then lower days in milk, so higher milk production. Being able to use the information to pinpoint illness and sickness, and sometimes you can see that they're actually improving within a day, and you don't actually need to go ahead with treatment because you can see that the rumination and the health stuff's improving, and you can just monitor that on a daily basis or even hourly basis with the software that works with the collars. Using that information and seeing those cows improving that then don't actually need to get treatment and milk withheld, and some cost saving involved in that. I would definitely recommend the NEDAP collars to other farmers, and I have done, because they do what they're supposed to do, and I haven't seen a cow on heat that hasn't been drafted, and it's far more accurate than any human worker, including myself. Definitely the best feature of the NEDAP collars is the heat detection, just getting all those cows submitted for AI. Using the Laley Horizon dashboard, you can go into cow information and everything's on that one screen, the heat detection data, the activity data, the rumination, eating minutes. It's easy to pinpoint issues that may arise and deal with them better with the knowledge of what's actually happening. The technology has enabled us to run the extra farm without any additional labour. It runs very labour efficient. The information helps us make better decisions. Having this technology on my farm helps set up the future generation for success. Gives you flexibility in your day-to-day work life, family life, and being able to increase production and profitability going into the future.
Both of these companies serve dairy farms at various scales, like the one you just saw in the video, around the world, and are always thinking about how they can improve their products for the experience of the farmer and the animal. They're constantly having to consider the elements of diffusion and the theory of unified acceptance and use of technology in order to stay at the forefront of their industry. In their continuous development of technologies in the dairy industry, it's crucial that these companies consider the barriers and accessibility of their products. Agricultural practices are typically deeply rooted and passed down from generation to generation. And in order for those practices to be adjusted to consider a new technology, farmers must be persuaded that it'll provide a relative advantage compared to their current practice. They also need to ensure the compatibility of their products. So for example, like we saw in the earlier video, the farmer mentions having two different types, the Laley robots and the NEDAP collars. He highlights how important it is that these two work in conjunction, and he's able to use both of the systems together. Their compatibility is the difference between his acceptance and his refusal. Both of these companies are dedicated to providing technical support to their customers as well. With a highly developed tool, it's important to ensure their users are supported and that the interface that manages all the technology is user-friendly and easy to navigate. As we've covered in today's episode, the dairy industry is continuously developing and innovations are always diffusing. The bounds that have been made since cows were milked by hand are proof that innovations are increasing efficiency and taking agriculture to a new level. By integrating precision livestock farming into their practices, farmers are prioritizing animal health and welfare, which is in turn enhancing their environmental, economic, and social sustainability. By utilizing the technological developments, farmers are able to increase their production efficiency while not compromising the health of their herd. It is also bringing them peace of mind for the future generations that will be next in line to inherit the farms. That is all we have today on the modern technologies of wearable collars and robot milking systems. I hope you learned something new about the revolution happening in the dairy industry. Thank you.